Tonight on the News Hour. Soaring costs in Kano drive residents to depend on roadside meals for survival.
An zo ɗiban mai ne a cikin garin Bidda. Ɗan daidai gidan man AYM shafaɗin nan ita mota tanki ta faɗi da mai haka.
Bidda residents scoop oil from tanker wreck despite recent tragedy that killed 98. Gunmen attack Yobe market, leaving traders dead. On the foreign scene, M23 rebels advance in eastern Congo, seize key towns. Hello and welcome to the News Hour tonight. I am Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for joining us. As the cost of living continues to soar, residents of Kano State are grappling with tough choices. Many have turned to roadside food vendors, sacrificing hygiene and balanced diets just to survive. Trustees Abdulaziz Ibrahim captures the realities of life in Kano under rising food inflation.
The skyrocketing prices of food items in Kano have left many residents with little choice but to turn to roadside food sellers for sustenance. Once considered a convenience, these makeshift eateries have become lifelines for countless families struggling to make ends meet. Residents displayed the scant portions of food they could afford, often barely enough to last the entire day. Despite hygiene concerns, they say survival takes precedence over cleanliness. The prices of food have changed so much and we have no option. We know the food isn't the cleanest, but what can we do? We can't afford markets anymore. Everything is just too expensive. Another resident holding a small piece of fried bean cake called awara explained how even basic food has become a luxury. Since morning, this is all I could afford. In the past, buying from roadside vendors was optional, but now it's all we have to survive on. Even vendors of traditional dishes like lamsour, an African salad made of nutrient-rich vegetables, are struggling. Idris Mukhtar, a lamsour seller, explained that while his customers understand the health benefits of his offerings, financial constraints force them to buy in smaller quantities than ever before. The ingredients are expensive and people know this salad is good for them. But these days, they can only afford tiny portions. They simply don't have the money. The dire situation has spurred emotional pleas from residents, urging the government to take swift action to alleviate the burden. Sincerely, we need help. The government must intervene. In the past, food was affordable. Now, even the most basic items are beyond reach. Families are suffering. A local sand seller shared his struggle to feed his large family of 9, highlighting how even his business is no longer enough to support them. What I used to sell in 3 days now takes much longer. Feeding myself, my 2 wives and 7 children is a struggle. At times, we have no choice but to buy roadside food just to manage. For residents of Kano, the rising prices of food have become a daily battle. While roadside vendors offer some relief, the sustainability of this option is uncertain. The people are looking to the government for urgent intervention to ease their plight. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Kano.
Abdulaziz in Kano there. Now, 2 days after a tanker carrying petrol overturned and exploded in Dikko, Gurara local government area of Niger State, resulting in multiple deaths and injuries, another tanker loaded with groundnut oil has fallen in Bidda, Niger State. Eyewitnesses say the incident happened on Monday afternoon near Power FM Junction, drawing large crowds to the scene. Residents were seen scooping the spilled oil, which was allegedly being sold to dealers in the area. Mohammed Baba, who witnessed the event, said attempts to control the situation by local vigilante groups, known as the Bidda Emirate Disciplinary Committee, were unsuccessful. Baba, who claimed that some members of the security group also joined in collecting the oil, added that the trailer fell down due to the deplorable state of the road from Bida to Agay. Now, the National Emergency Management Agency has distributed food, non-food items and medical supplies to injured victims and affected families of the tragic petrol tanker fire disaster at Dikko Junction in Niger State. The agency disclosed this in a statement on Tuesday. According to reports, the explosion occurred after a tanker loaded with premium motor spirit crashed and spilled its contents during an attempt to transfer the fuel to another tanker. The spilled PMS came into contact with a generator used to power the transfer, causing the explosion. The incident claimed 98 lives, left 69 people with varying degrees of injuries, and destroyed 20 shops. NEMA's Director General Zubeida Umar visited the community and flagged off the distribution of relief materials. During her visit, she stated that the intervention was in line with President Bola Tinubu's directive and the federal government's commitment to assisting the community in recovering from the disaster. And on to security matters. Suspected armed robbers have attacked the popular Gouda market in Fika local government area of Yobe State, killing 7 residents. The robbers were said to have carted away 16.5 million naira in the incident, which happened on Monday when the residents were closing from the popular market, a border community with Gombe State. The spokesman of Yobe State Police Command, Dungus Abdul Karim, confirmed the incident in a press statement on Tuesday. He said the gang leader, Dati Alhaji Daji, who is also a resident of Ngauda community, has been arrested. While commiserating with the families of the victims, the Commissioner of Police in the state, Ahmed Garba, has ordered an immediate investigation into the incident and called for calm. He tasked his personnel to arrest the fleeing syndicate members and urged the public to assist the command with credible information. Now, earlier we spoke to Daily Trust Bureau Chief Hamisu Matazu, and he gives an update on the situation.
I think all the sites were covered because police came out to confirm the incident. And I think what is fresh about the issue is the injured, people that were injured, the traders that were injured were taken to hospital, and based on our sources there, they said they are responding to treatment. Meanwhile, Dirty is on the run, which according to the sources there, he is the one that invited some of the government, the robbers, to invade the market yesterday. And he is still at large, but the police have sent out team to search for them and ensure that they brought them into custody. Meanwhile, about the development, Galda market is a weekly market, of course, and it's one of the largest, if I can, in the whole Yobe State, is the largest market I can say. And there are some neighboring markets like that of Bajoga and other places. But what will strike you more is it has never, not once, it has never been attacked by any armed group or the robbers in the past, which is very rare of the markets there. And this is the first, and what I will tell people is how the traders summoned courage to face the attackers. And they were able to apprehend 3 out of the 6, I think, they chased. And I think they beat them to pulp, but some are saying that they were killed, while other sources are saying about 2 of them are still alive and have been taken to the police. The police have taken them. So we want to confirm that also. And lastly, I can say The market situation is now calm, but the people have lost over 16 million naira in their shops, and it's shops that are usually where the money transactions are taking place that they attack. They kill the person in charge and took away the money. So we are reaching out to the people there also to get an update.
Okay, Hamis, you'd agree with me that most marketplaces have their own security, but would you say, you have stated earlier that this is the largest market in the state, and would you say because this is the first time this incident is happening, perhaps there was some laxity on the part of the security operatives who are expected to guard the market, hence these people made their way into the market and what happened?
Well, it's a security breach, of course, but we cannot quickly blame the security because they have done their best. I think the last time I fly the route was sometimes last 4 months, and I noticed presence of securities there, even local vigilante and even police at the checkpoints there. I cannot be too sure that security were around when the incident happened, but that's why I said what interests people the most is how the traders themselves responded and controlled the situation somehow, because they were able to apprehend catch some of the attackers, and though about 3 made their way out of the place, still at large, but the police give their words that they are on they are trailing them, and surely they will bring them to book.
Kamiso Matazu there. And now troops of Operation Safe Haven, a security task force maintaining peace in Plateau, Bauchi, and parts of southern Kaduna, along with the 3rd Division of the Nigerian Army operating under Operation Golden Peace, have arrested a notorious gun runner, Timothy Yusuf, in Fadia village of Zango Kataf local government area of Kaduna State. Yusuf, a leader of gun runners in the area, was arrested alongside his son, Timothy Obadia. The operation also recovered a large cache of arms and ammunition during the arrest. The spokesperson for Operation Safe Haven, Major Samson Zakom, who confirmed the arrest on Tuesday in Jos, added that the suspects are currently in custody for interrogation. To a sad development, 3 people, including a toddler, have been confirmed dead when a passenger boat traveling from Port Harcourt to Boni in Boni local government area of Rivers State capsized on Sunday evening. Reports say the incident was caused by a storm at an area called Yellow Platform near Boni Island at about 5 p.m. The boat was said to have ferried 22 passengers from the Boni Nembe Bille waterfront jetty in Port Harcourt, but 3 of the occupants did not make it when the boat capsized due to the storm. The spokesperson for the State Police Command, Grace Ringe Koko, confirmed the incident on Monday, describing it as sad. The chairman, Maritime Workers Union of Nigeria, Rivers Commercial District, Israel Pepo, corroborated the police in confirmation that the incident was caused by a windstorm.
SOS. No be both be that. Go front. Now you be the driver.
In other stories, as the world grapples with the intensifying impacts of climate change, the need for substantial financial investment in climate action has never been more urgent. Climate financing is the lifeblood of global efforts to mitigate and adapt to the challenges posed by rising temperatures, extreme weather, and the degradation of ecosystems. In this report, Trustee Vice Dorcas Yakubu speaks to experts in the sector and filed in the report.
At its core, climate financing involves the allocation of financial resources to support actions that combat climate change and enhance resilience to its impacts. Experts in climate change say meeting the financing needs of climate action requires a mix of funding sources ranging from public funds provided by governments to private investments driven by businesses and financial institutions.
When we look at energy or renewables projects, Nigeria, Africa in fact, gets about 4% of the investments that are coming on this sort of issue. And obviously we're the most disenfranchised, we're the most impacted by climate, both mitigation and adaptation. And so it's important for us, one, to define a path for ourselves where we can mobilize both international and domestic finance.
Climate financing in Nigeria needs a serious overhaul, and we have to look at where these finances come from, and also to keep pressing to get more of grants than debt, and also to see how we can involve the private sector to step up and also be engaged in this climate financing.
Nigeria is rich with natural resources. How are we extracting it? How are we empowering communities that we're extracting them from? How are we building capacity for young people? And how are we creating values where we would attract external investors? But most importantly, we also use what we have to determine how we engage the world.
Climate financing is not just a technical or financial challenge, but an ethical imperative which is essential for achieving global climate targets, protecting vulnerable populations, and ensuring that future generations inherit a planet that can sustain human life. As we look toward the future, it is clear that without adequate financial resources, the fight against climate change will falter. Dorcas Yakubu, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, President Bola Tinubu and the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, on Tuesday held a closed-door meeting with a delegation of Ogoni leaders led by Governor Siminalayi Fubara of Rivers State. Also present at the meeting was the Chief of Staff to the President, Femi Gbajabiamila, the National Security Advisor, Nuhu Ribadu, the Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, Mele Kyari, the Minister of Information and National Orientation, Mohammed Idris, and aides, and other ministers and aides. The meeting came after a coalition of civil society organizations demanded an allocation of $1 trillion from the federal government for the cleanup of the Niger Delta and compensation for lost livelihoods before the resumption of crude oil production in Ogoni land. The meeting came amid the protracted feud between Fubara and Wike, who were once political allies. In politics, former Anambra State Governor Peter Obi has decried the way the prevailing security challenges have ravaged Zamfara communities and hampered agricultural production, thereby aggravating hunger and poverty in the agrarian state. The presidential candidate of the Labour Party in the 2023 general elections stated this when he paid a condolence visit to Emir of Gusau and the people of Zamfara State in Gusau on Monday. His trip to the northwestern state followed the military strikes in the Tungar-Kara community in the Maradun local government area, which claimed about 16 lives. Obi, who was represented by the spokesperson for the Labour Party, Tanko Yunusa, expressed concerns that people who were supposed to be protected were the ones who lost their lives. His condolence message was delivered to the Emir of Gusau by Yunusa, who said whatever happens to the people of Zamfara happens to Peter Obi, which was why he sent him to come and commiserate with them before LP candidate Peter Obi would come in person. He emphasized that if the country must be protected, there is a need to go back to the country's root, which is production, not consumption, arguing that production is one of the sure ways Nigeria can overcome its current challenges of insecurity, hunger, and unemployment, hence the need for the government prioritizing it. You're watching the News Hour tonight on Trust TV. Still in the news. Tales of Legends shine spotlights on Tafawa Balewa's legacy through arts and theatre. We'll bring you details of this story and more after the break. Welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. Here is a recap of some of our top stories. Soaring costs in Kano drive residents to depend on roadside meals for survival. Plus, Bida residents scoop oil from tanker wreck despite recent tragedy that killed 98. In other stories, the virtues and exemplary leadership of late Sir Tafawa Balewa came to the fore at the second edition of the Tales of Legends in Abuja. Trust TV's Kabir Lawal reports that the event also harped on the importance of art and theatre as an avenue to celebrate the legacies of Nigerian heroes. The report.
The historic virtues of late Prime Minister Sir Tafawa Balewa can be attributed to his excellent leadership, which many see as an example for others to emulate, shown during his lifetime. Kaltume Bulamagana, Artistic Director and Chief Executive Officer, National Troupe of Nigeria, urged younger generation to emulate his leadership acumen, adding that art and theatre depict his lifestyle and his struggle for Nigeria.
During his short tenure of office, he has displayed exemplary leadership and great mentorship. He has become a symbol of honor for all of us in Nigeria, even in the diaspora.
The arts director urged well-to-do individuals to contribute their quota to the upliftment of theatre arts.
We need to revive, for our young ones especially. Mentorship is very necessary and they need to believe back in Nigeria. And because Nigeria is such a great place and such a great nation, that we need our stories to be retold by us on stage and by other mediums that we have, like the radio, like your great outlets like this.
The Chief Executive Officer, Atwat Ola Awakan, the Tale of Legends Premier Play, brings four cardinal points which include history, education, empowerment and cultural appraisal.
See how we can talk about our history, because a society without the knowledge of its history is like a dead society. So we are using it to revive our history. And lastly is to talk about our cultural existence. We understand how we used to be as a people in Africa, in Nigeria, who believe so much in communal love, which we can see now that we are beginning to deviate from that particular idea. So we are using it to also bring back.
Highlight of the event were performances in honor of the late legend. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
And understand the Buddhists with respect. Respect? Yes, respect. Can you imagine? Let us see how much.
The Katsina State Internal Revenue Service says it is projecting to generate between 6 to 7 billion naira from January to December 2025 by harnessing the potentials in the informal sector through consultants and super agents. According to the state government, it has already engaged the super agents who are currently receiving training on the effective technology for revenue collection. Abdullah Yamadi has details.
The training also highlighted the responsibility of taxes, levies, and revenue collection on the Katsina State Revenue Service with a stipulated sharing formula.
All taxes collected by IRS on behalf of the local government, IRS will take 10% of the collection and 90% will not be remitted to the local government. So what we did as far as this arrangement is concerned, we say, okay, we are now moving to collect on behalf of local government as well as on behalf of the state. So local government already the law say 10%. So the state government, when I told His Excellency that the state government, the local government is giving us 10% because of what the law stipulated. You are also supposed to give 10%. So that at the end of the day, we will now give the consultant 20%. So the consultant is taking 20%, 10% on the side of government, 10% on the side of local government.
In selecting the super agents, the state government said it went beyond educational qualifications and veered into the integrity, honesty, commitments, and dedication to revenue collections from those selected. The two-day training is to also equip the participants with not only skills in revenue collection, but to also agree on the terms of engagement between the revenue service and the super agents.
If you are assigned to go and collect taxes from the filling station, for example, and if you start with a particular filling station X, as you just key in the POS to issue a receipt for the payment of 5,000 you collected from that filling station, the system will automatically go to the wallet, your own wallet. As a super agent, you must fund that wallet before you commence the collection. Take for instance, you funded your wallet with 200,000 naira and you started. Then you go to X filling station to collect 5,000. As you are issuing the receipt, the system is automatically going into your wallet. It will debit that 5,000 naira, credit the government with its own percentage, and credit the consultant with its own percentage immediately.
With the over 600 billion naira 2025 budget, the Katsina State government requires more contributions from the informal sector to ensure the execution of the state developmental projects. Meanwhile, the partners say they are making concerted efforts in using evolving innovations to harness the state's revenue potentials.
Access Bank is, in conjunction with the state government, looks at how we can develop the informal sector, and that's why we have given what I call a software, Access RFP, to ensure that all informal sector collection is being done, monitored, accounted for, with transparency software being deployed for the state government. And we are very sure at the end of every year, we are going to see growth in the informal sector, in collection of IGR in the state.
Katsina residents say they are willing to support the state internal revenue service in actualizing its dreams, adding that the service's numerous achievements over the last 1.5 years justifies their desire to support it. Abdullahi Ismayamadi, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Now, as part of efforts to alleviate the plight of vulnerable groups in Jigawa State, Governor Umar Namadi has inaugurated a new housing estate in Malam Madori local government area of the state. The estate, comprising 51 bedroom apartments, a school and a Jumu'at mosque, is aimed at providing shelter and essential services to widows, orphans and other disadvantaged individuals from surrounding communities. The report.
The project, executed in partnership with the Qatar Charity Foundation, underscores the commitment of both the Jigawa State government and international partners to improving the lives of the less privileged. Speaking at the commissioning ceremony, Governor Umar Namadi emphasized the importance of such initiatives in providing a safety net for society's most vulnerable members. He expressed gratitude to the Qatar Charity Foundation for their support and urged the beneficiaries to make good use of the facilities provided.
We are very delighted for the fruitful and very promising discussions we had. I would like to assure His Excellency the Ambassador that we intend to take the discussion forward to enable us build a stronger and sustainable economic cooperation and development partnership with the public and private sector in the state of Qatar for the benefit of our people, including the expansion of opportunities to access to humanitarian assistance from Qatar Charity and humanitarian organizations.
The representative of the state ambassador to Nigeria, Hamidi Abdu, the Director General of the National Information Technology Development Agency, NITDA, Kashifu Inua Abdullahi, and the Emir of Hadejia, Adamu Abubakar Maji, all highlighted the crucial role of collective efforts in addressing the needs of orphans and widows, stressing the significance of the housing estate in offering them a stable and supportive environment.
The progress of any nation, and by investing in our children. We are building bridge and the more prosperous future. I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to everyone who cooperate with Qatar Charity to succeed this project. Our goal number 9, which is on accelerating urban infrastructure. They are built houses, affordable houses, which is in line with your agenda to provide our citizens with affordable houses. And also it aligns with your goal number 11, which is on the social security, because these houses are donated to the vulnerable, to the less privileged, to the orphans. This aligns with your initiative, Your Excellency. We thank you with your support. Without your support and leadership, this program will not have been realistic.
I urge the beneficiaries of this project to make good use of it by taking care of it, because it is now theirs. I also trust that the government will take all necessary steps to supervise the project.
The commissioning of this housing estate marks a hopeful turn for the beneficiaries, promising not only shelter but also access to education and religious activities within their community.
And now to developments from the National Assembly. The Minister of Marine and Blue Economy, Adegboyega Oyetola, on Tuesday presented the 2025 budget proposal for all revenue-generating agencies under his ministry. He made the presentation when he appeared before the Joint Committee of the Senate on Marine Transport and House of Representatives Committees on Ports and Harbour, Maritime Safety, Education and Administration, Inland Waterways and Committee on Shipping Services. The report.
Addressing the committee, Oyetola highlighted the ministry's key priorities for the coming year.
In the 2025 budget proposal, the ministry is initiating major projects in the fisheries and aquaculture subsector to boost fish production. These projects are deliberately tied to government capital budget to guarantee fast-track delivery and assured food security. Quantum investment through the capital budget is necessary for the ministry to deliver on its lofty mandate and potential revenue.
The minister laid emphasis on how underfunded the Ministry of Marine and Blue Economy is, stating that the ministry's expectations surpass the allocation, adding that this hinders its growth and development.
As a newly created ministry, our initial focus is to set up enduring structures and systems for the effective management of the blue economy sector. The notable deficiencies in the sector, such as general infrastructure decay, silted river courses, inadequate fish production, and inadequate river crafts, require major attention.
Chairman House Committee on NIWA pointed out the focus of the committee for 2025 budget.
As we review the budget, our focus should be on prioritizing impactful projects, strengthening safety measures, investing in sustainable practice, and enhancing research and innovation to boost global competitiveness.
The Chairman Committee urged the Minister to use his position to call for investment and funding, as the maritime sector plays a crucial role in Nigeria's economy.
We will do all what we can to assist. We know you are underfunded, so that the ministry can move forward. You have a lot. Whatever you do in your ministry also will affect the oil sector, because the Bonnet Channel is where most of this LNG oil vessels pass through, and it is Bonnet Channel is being paid for by NPA, not by NNPC, who ought ordinarily to have contributed to that.
After the extensive review of the budget, the House Committee on Marine and Blue Economy approved the ministry's proposed budget of 11,770,533,003 naira for capital expenditure and 453,858,325 naira for overhead costs. Sumaya Abubakar, Trust TV News, Abuja.
Now, the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Ahmed Musa Dangiwa, has presented an 83.75 billion naira 2025 budget proposal to the Senate Committee on Housing, chaired by Aminu Tambuwal. The budget focuses on the renewed Hope Housing Initiative, with over 10,000 housing units under construction in 14 locations nationwide. The report.
The initiative is expected to create over 252,000 skilled jobs. Dangiwa highlighted land allocation delays by some state governors as a significant obstacle to the initiative, and also cited ongoing projects from previous budgets as reason for the increased allocation.
Under the program, Your Excellency, we plan to build 50,000 housing units under Phase 1 across the country. Currently, we have over 10,112 housing units that are spread across the country under construction in 14 locations nationwide.
Senators questioned the practice of awarding contracts without secured funding and sought clarification on unutilized funds and incomplete projects.
But from your report, you utilized only 77 billion, and 22 billion out of the amount released to you is still outstanding.
Now, in your answers, you said the money you are even requesting, the 92 billion, doesn't even include the balance you need to finish it up. Do you have that 20-something billion in your ministry, or it wasn't released at all, or it was released and you returned it?
What could have been the reason why same government that in supplementary appropriation was able to give you 100 billion, in 2024 budget 162 billion, is now giving you 83 billion?
In response, Dangiwa assured the committee that outstanding debts will not impede project completion and reiterated his commitment to ensuring ongoing developments are finished on time. Meanwhile, the Minister of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy, Tijani Bosun, has attributed the recent 50% increase in telecommunications tariffs to global inflation and rising operational costs. On Monday, the stakeholders meeting in the communication sector approved a 50% tariff increment on calls and data. The minister, while appearing before the Joint Committees on Communication, added that the decision aligns with broader economic patterns where tariffs can lead to higher consumer prices due to added costs on imported goods. Speaking to journalists moments after defending his ministry's budget of 12 billion naira for 2025, Bosun stated that the 50% adjustment aligns with broader economic trends. According to the minister, historically, tariffs act as a sales tax, causing a one-off price increase rather than sustained inflation.
We have to make sure that the sector continues to stay sustainable. But at the same time, we don't want to inflict pain on Nigerians. So they were claiming for 100% increase in tariff. I think, as you can see from what NCC released yesterday, we had a lot of back and forth. They've been talking about since even before we were appointed. The first time I met them almost 16, 17 months ago, it was the same thing they were talking about. But now I think we've settled at about 50% to ensure that they can find ways to stay sustainable.
He further explained that the federal government is planning to invest 60 billion naira to deploy 90,000 kilometers of fiber optic cable, expanding the country's capacity from 35,000 kilometers to 125,000 kilometers. The minister, during the 2025 budget defense section, said the planned deployment of fiber optic cable is an initiative aimed at fostering growth in critical communication sectors.
This will help us create new small businesses that will be responsible for laying 90,000 kilometers of fiber network. This will help us create nothing less than 10,000 jobs of young men and women that will drive the deployment of this cable all over our country.
The last hike was 12 years ago, while the new tariff hike comes amid agitations by telecom operators in the last 2 years demanding a 100% increase.
And the Delta State government has sealed 2 mini estates in Asaba for violating state environmental laws. The estates were also ordered to pay various fines. Trustee Vice Jonathan Anwanyai tells us more.
It was a day of reckoning for 2 mini estates in Asaba, as the Delta State Commissioner for Environment, leading an enforcement team, uncovered glaring violations of environmental laws. The commissioner expressed outright dismay at the reckless channeling of wastewater into public drains an act described as a ticking time bomb for public health.
Saw how people are in their bedroom, they're bathing, all the water coming straight to the drain. Those who are washing plates in their kitchen, all the waters are entering the public drain. And you know, there is outbreak of cholera. So the government of His Excellency Right Honorable Sheriff Oberori has prioritized the environmental sustainability of his small agenda. So we are out to work for Deltans, and we need Deltans to collaborate with the government so we can get a clean, safe and healthy environment.
Abatement notices were swiftly served, mandating the estates to redirect their waste to properly constructed septic tanks. Beyond enforcement, the team hit the streets, engaging residents in aspirated campaign to promote hygiene as a cornerstone of healthy living. The commissioner reaffirmed the government's commitment to a cleaner and healthier Delta State, announcing that the sanitation drive will soon sweep across all 25 local government areas. Jonathan Anwanyai, Trust TV News, Asaba.
You're still watching the News Hour tonight on Trust TV. The news will return shortly. It's nice to have you join us again. Coming up next is Yusuf Akogu with the stock market update.
It's time for stock market update. The Nigerian Exchange Limited (NGX) closed Tuesday's trading on a positive note following price appreciation in some big capped equities. MTN Nigeria lead the table then 10% it gained to close at 256 naira and 30 kobo per share. SOA Motors also gained 9.93% to close at 2 naira and 99 kobo per share. Omatech recorded 9.88% gain to close at 89 kobo per share. This has pushed up the index up by 0.69%. Volume of trade 393.1 million shares, valued at 11 billion naira. In the list of 12,006 lead exchanges among investors. Looking at the top trading equities by volume, we have Lasaco Assurance, they're leading the table there, 107.8 million shares. Access Corporation, 43 million shares it traded. Of course, UBA, 22.5 million volume of shares it traded as well. Some equities ended on the losing side of the market. Leading the table is NSL Tech. NSL Tech down 9.88% to close at 73 kobo per share. Abe Microfinance Bank lost 9.09% to close at 3 naira and 30 kobo per share. Guineans down as well 7.61% to close at 85 kobo per share there. And that's the highlight of Nigerian stock market. Let's see the global stock market and exchange rate data. And that's stock market update. I am Yusuf Akogu.
Thank you so much, Yusuf Akogu. And now to developments away from Nigeria. M23 rebels have seized the town of Minova in eastern Congo, a key supply route for the provincial capital Goma, authorities said on Tuesday, leading to a mass exodus of people in the face of a new offensive by the rebel group, which has taken several strategic towns in recent weeks. The provincial governor of South Kivu, Jean-Jacques Parisi, confirmed the capture of Minova, adding that the rebels have also captured the mining towns of Lumbishi, Numbi and Shanje in the same province, and the town of Bweremana in neighboring North Kivu province. Congo's military said in a statement on Tuesday that the rebels made breakthroughs in Minova and Bweremana. It did not confirm if M23 captured the towns. M23, or the March 23 movement, is a militant group composed of ethnic Tutsis who broke away from the Congolese army just over a decade ago. The group rose to prominence in 2012 when its fighters seized Goma, the capital of North Kivu province and eastern Congo's largest city, on the border with Rwanda. Still on the foreign scene, as the Israel-Hamas ceasefire entered its third day on Tuesday, United States President Donald Trump has said he doubted the fragile deal would hold. Desperately needed humanitarian aid has begun to flow into war-battered Gaza after Israel and Hamas conducted the first exchange of hostages for prisoners agreed under the terms of the ceasefire. Gazans displaced by more than 15 months of war have been walking through an apocalyptic landscape to return to whatever remains of their homes, while rescuers trawl the rubble for bodies. Gaza is like a massive demolition site, Trump said as he signed a flurry of executive orders following his inauguration. Asked whether he believes the two sides would maintain the truce, Trump said, "That's not our war, it's their war, but I'm not confident." It's time now to join Adeni Ajishafe for the latest in sports.
Sons Basketball Club of Jos has won the 2025 Be Happy Basketball Tournament trophy after defeating Adamawa Stars by 78-49 in style in Bauchi at the Season 4 of the basketball tournament held at the Sports Complex of Abubakar Tafawa Balewa Stadium. Bauchi Marktown Flyers defeated Joji's basketball team to finish third. While displaying superlative performances, the 11 participating basketball teams representing 7 states of the federation showed commitment throughout the sporting event. Captains of the first and second position speak on their performances at the final game.
It was not easy, man. We played 8 games to be here. We played 7 games to make us qualify to the finals. And the finals was the 8th game we played. We were unbeatable in the tournament. It was not easy. We were fatigued, but man, we were tough. We were mentally tough. We had to play hard. We had to play together. We had to do for ourselves so that the job is going to be easy. And the grace of God, we came out victorious.
It was really a good one. When we started, we don't know that we were going to even come this far, but with our teamwork and our hard work, we can see it really pays. And the finals were really, really great. We put up our efforts, but as usual, you don't always win. So we go, we make some work, and we come back stronger the next time.
Sports stakeholders task Nigerian youth to take advantage of such opportunities to showcase their talent in sport while developing their skills to represent Nigeria at global competition.
Investment is very key. As you can see, initially the government does everything, but now as the population is growing and the economy is not too good, so I think the government too is also encouraging projects who are willing and who are having little support that they can secure this money. We are trying to support so that at least the game is not collective.
This is an avenue for them to channel their energy. So in other way, it also provides a platform to check kids doing vices. Somebody is sitting at home with so much energy, nothing to do, the next thing is start thinking of committing for this vice. But this is open for him. It's free. Nobody asks you to pay any money. All you need to do is just get your shot, your canvas, and come in here, and then we'll provide you with things that's going to make you channel your energy. You don't need to go and commit any crime with that energy.
Modupe Lawrence of Marktown Flyers won the Most Improved Player, while Thomas Ago of Marktown Flyers emerged Best Defensive Player. Solomon Ilia of Be Happy Stars scooped the Best 3-point shooter, with Rayan Saleh winning the MVP and highest scorer at the exciting basketball tournament. That's Sport News. I'm Adeni Ajishafe.
Very well then, that's about the size of our package for you on the News Hour tonight from our team here in Abuja and other parts of the country. Do not forget, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs and documentary. Aisha Salihu, thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.